let's get this party started. All right. Start my computers. Get my timers going here. All right. So, like I said before, have yourself in a nice, easy gear. That means you should be in your small ring in the front and an easy gear in the back. It's going to help you to just get your legs warmed up. We're going to kind of sit here for about 10 minutes. So before I do that, I'm going to start talking about what we're going to do in our main set for this workout. So gearing is always an interesting element of cycling. It can be confusing. It can be wonderful to have the gears that you have, or you might feel like you're going to climb a hill and you want one more gear. So it's about learning what kind of cassette you have, what gears you actually have, and how to use those gears. So there's something that's called a gear inch chart. And I'll show this to you closer at the end. But basically the chart shows you the number of teeth at the top and numbers of teeth down the side. So if you have a 50, which is your big ring, you would go to the 50 number at the top, find whatever gear you're going to get in along the side, and then you're going to find what's called a gear inch. So what does gear inch actually mean? So according to the official definition, the size of a gear corresponds with how far the cyclist will roll with one complete revolution of a pedal. So that's what your gear inch is. So tonight, we're going to learn how you can use that gear inch to go from your big ring to your small ring, and you can actually be in a similar or the exact same gear. So let me give you an example, and we're going to use that in our first kind of gear inch comparison tonight. If you're in your big ring, which is a 50 for most of you, that's a compact crank, and you get in your 25. Okay, so I'm doing the kind of coordinates here, and it tells me 54 is my gear inch. So if I want to go to that same gear, but I want to be in my small ring to do that, I'll have to go to my 34, which is my small ring, and my 17. Hopefully that makes sense. We're going to actually do that tonight so that you can feel how you can go from one gear in your big ring to another gear in your small ring, and it will feel like the exact same gear. Now, sometimes it doesn't coordinate exactly the same. So if I were to go from my big ring 23 to my small ring 16, having a 50-34, it's a little bit off. So it's a 58.7 in the big ring, it's 57.4 in the small ring. And we're going to do that too, so that you can feel where it's close, but it's not exactly the same. So I'm going to talk about the application of how and why and when you would use this gear inch and similar gears to get you where you want to go. So in doing that, we're going to go through a workout that's going to help you to kind of feel that. So tonight, it's a lot about feel. I want you to not worry about so much about massive efforts, zone fours, when we get into that main set. I want you to really feel how that gear feels in the cadence that you're giving it, because then after we do one set of it, In one gear, we're going to shift to the other gear that is an equivalent or similar gear. So keep that in mind. Let's get ourselves warmed up a little bit more. So we're going to start off. I want everybody to get in their big ring. That's your left hand. Up into your big ring and down to your 15. So if you look back, you're going to see 3 cogs underneath your chain. We're going to do 15 seconds standing, 15 seconds seated, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. In your hoods, standing up. Let's just get the body warmed up. Get the legs firing, blood pumping, sitting back down, staying in this gear. Kind of grind through this next 15 seconds. Hands back in the hoods, standing up. Keep the legs moving. If the legs are burning, that's a good thing. That's what we want. Sitting back down. 5 minutes of this. Up and down. 3, 2, up. If you feel the heart rate starting to rise, that's exactly what we want. Sitting back down. Concentrate when you're standing on going straight up, tall in your torso. 3, 2, up. Hips over your ankles. And your hands should feel light. No pressure in your hands. Sit down. You should feel a little bit of the saddle touching your inner thighs and up when you stand. When you're standing, you want to try to keep your hips nice and still, sitting back down. So that means you're not letting your legs drop to the bottom when you're standing up. Up. So I don't want anybody doing this. You're not playing the worm. Hips should be still. All the power comes from your legs, sitting back down. Coming up on 3 minutes. 2 more to go after that. And up. Keep it steady. Feel yourself get light in your upper body. If your balance is perfect, your heels won't dig into their bars, sitting back down. And up. So when you're up, feel that power in your feet. You're getting a little click on the bottom of the pedal stroke, sitting back down. Then it's all about getting a little stronger in those stabilizer muscles. Last minute to come, and up. Staying nice and steady. And down. If you're starting to sweat, that's exactly what we want to have happening. And up. Coming into the last standing effort. And down. Last 15 seconds. Legs should be well warmed up. 3, 2, small ring. Then up to that easy gear, all the way to the top of your set. Keep the legs spinning. Somewhere between 70 and 80 cadence, or what feels good to bring them back to life. All right, so here goes our first set. We're not really going to work yet on those similar gears in this first set. This one's just going to be 11 by 20 seconds hard efforts, followed by 40 seconds easy. So here's where a little bit of freedom comes your way. That 20 seconds, I want it to be a powerful 20 seconds, but the metric that I want you to really get to is 100 cadence. So if you have to be in your big ring 25, or even in the gear that you're right now in, but in your big ring, that's fine. Whatever gear gets you to 100, that's what we're looking for. Then that 40 seconds of easy, you're going to bring that cadence down somewhere around 70 to 80, just enough to spin the legs out. Because we want each one of those 20-second efforts to be all out, hard efforts. I know you guys can hold something for 20 seconds. So enjoy that 40 seconds of rest, because you will need it as we go through this whole series that's 12 minutes long. All right? So everybody, to your big ring, find a gear that you think you can get to 100 cadence in 20 seconds. Give me everything you got. A seated effort. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Don't cheat yourself out here. Get the legs spinning fast. If you're going to 110, that's the highest I want you to go. No higher than that. Holding steady. 3, 2, 1. Bring that cadence down. Stay in that gear. So this is the hard part. We're not shifting out of that big ring. Bring that cadence down. Even if you have to bring it to 70 to give yourself adequate rest, that's fine. There's 40 seconds. Believe it or not, it's going to go really fast. Here we go. 3, 2, 20 seconds. Come on. Get the cadence up. Holding it steady. I'm at 109. Feel strong in that core. That's what holds you there. 3, 2, nice and easy. Bring that cadence down. So in between these, in the 40-second portion, I want you to think about drinking your bottle a few times. If that's something that challenges you when you're out on the road, work on it here. 2 of these efforts down. Getting ready for the number 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. Come on. Make it look just like the last one. You know I love consistency. Same cadence, same effort. 3, 2, bring it back down. Take a drink. And you know the rule. When it comes to water, have that entire bottle consumed by the end of this workout. Hopefully you have your towel and your fan nearby because you will need it. Nice and steady on this in between. It's a good rest. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 100 plus cadence. Really pushing it. Use that core. A little bend in the elbows. Relax shoulders. 3, 2, nice and easy. So dial those metrics in. And dial that body position in. Find yourself sitting in the saddle. Little tilt to those hips. So you can get power into the pedals. The taller you are in your torso, the better off you're going to be. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Right up there. 100 plus. Holding it steady for just 20 seconds. 3, 2, nice and easy. 40 seconds easy. We're coming up on 5 minutes completed. Total time is going to be 12 minutes. So by the time we get to the end of this, you should have it all dialed in. Know exactly where you need to go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Spin the legs. Make it even. Feel yourself being relaxed in your upper body. Let the legs do all the work. And stop. Or go down to 70 to 80. Keep spinning those legs. So when we get to the next set, I want you to think about when you do the first one, I'm not going to give you any definition of how or when you would use it, because I want you to think about how you would use it. 3, 2, 1, 100. Let's go. Right up there to where you were last time. Three, 2, nice and easy. So you're going to do the first set, just so you can see how great it is. Then before the next one, I'll give you a scenario of how you would use it. Something that I think is going to help a lot of people in a way that they haven't even thought about. Coming up to 7 minutes. And here we go. Let's go. Bringing it up. 110. 110 is your max. 100 is the bottom. 3, 2, 1. And remember from last week, when I say the words 3, 2, 1, that doesn't mean you slow down. You don't slow down until 0. It's like cheating yourself out of that last 3 seconds, which is actually where it counts the most. Coming up to 8 minutes. We're getting there. This is about stamina. 3, 2, let's go. I feel like I'm going exactly to the same spot each time. Same cadence, same power. 3, 2, bringing it down. Take a drink. Need to get that water in. Hopefully you hydrated all day. Came here ready to work. Coming up to 9 minutes. 3 to go. 3 more efforts. I know you got it. 3, 2, 1. Picking that cadence up. Let's go. Keeping that upper body still. Lighten your feet so your legs can go fast. 3, 2, back down. 70 to 80. Ooh, starting to feel these now. Now is when you got to tell yourself, you got this. You only have 2 more efforts to do. Don't hold back. Don't change what you've been doing. Here we go. 10 minutes done. 3, 2, 1. Right at it. 100 to 110. Good solid effort. 3, 2, 1. Good job. Make that last one your best one. Enjoy this rest so you get that last one nice and strong. And you get a nice 2-minute rest. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Right on to where you did the previous 10 efforts. 3, 2, 1. Stay in the gear. Don't shift yet. We got to get to the end of this minute. Get in the full effort in the full 12-minute block. No shortchanging yourself tonight. Make it happen. So if you're up near the top of your cassette, before you shift to your small ring, you're going to shift down or harder 2 or 3 gears, then to your small ring. And we do that so you don't drop your chain. All right, taking a drink. All right, 2 minutes. Just spin those legs easy. Take a drink, towel off. Let the body recover a little bit. All right, so here's how the next set's gonna go. 3 efforts that have 2 2-minute efforts as part of them. So here's what we're gonna work on, those similar gears. So what I want you to focus on for the first 2 minutes, you're gonna keep your cadence between 80 and 90. So that's gonna be a nice, comfortable place to be. And you're gonna be, you don't have to go there yet, in your big ring 25. So for those of you that are still learning your gears, if you have a 28 at the top, and here's where your homework comes in again, start to know your gears, count the number of teeth on each of those cogs in the back of your bike. Sometimes you have a 28 at the top, you might have a 32, you might have a 25. So our first gear is going to be, you don't have to go there again, big ring 25. The cadence is going to be 80 to 90. You are going to hold that gear for 2 minutes. So I want you to hold it at a solid pace that you feel comfortable with, because what's going to happen is after that 2 minutes, we're going to shift you to your small ring and the gear that is equivalent to that gear. So what does that mean? That means that when you shift, it should feel very similar to the previous gear that you just had. All right, so everybody, big ring, 25, 25. So you might have a 25 at the top. You might have a 28. If you have a 28, it's 1 shift. If you have a 32, it's probably 2 shifts. All right, 80 to 90. 2 minutes, no higher than 90. And the reason that I want that is for this first one, I want you to just feel comfortable with this gear so that you can analyze what it feels like, and then you can actually see what it feels like when we move to that similar gear in the small ring. So you get a little kind of nice little break here, just to spin, 80 to 90. Feel for yourself. You can use a metric like power if you have it, or you can use your heart rate, or you can just use feel to get a sense of what this gear feels like. Because when we make that shift, we want you to feel that that gear you're shifting to feels just like the one that you were in. So if you have a 50-34 in the front, we're going to shift to a gear that's going to feel exactly the same. Not going to be a little off. It's going to be exactly the same. So keep on thinking about this, how great it feels, what you're feeling like in terms of pedaling at this gear. And then once we finish 2 minutes in the small ring, we're going to keep going down the cassette so that you can experience other gears that can do the same little trick that we're going to play right now. All right, we're coming up on our 2 minute mark. So if you're at your 25, 23, 21, 19, 17. So you're going to shift 4 times in the back. Go ahead and do that. Then shift to your small ring in the front. Get right back to that cadence you were at, and the effort level. Now, if it feels a little harder, maybe you've gone one gear too hard, depending on what your cassette has in it. Mine, for me, I only went 3 gears, and it feels the same. So figure out if you go 4 gears or 3 to get that similar feel. Your cadence should be about what it was for that previous 2-minute effort, and the effort should be around the same. Power, heart rate, even speed if that's what you were using as a metric. Settle into this. It feels cool how you can go from your big ring to your small ring and feel like you're in the same gear. Now, I think there's only one person in the group that uses Campy. So the cool part about Campy is, oh, 2 people. Nice. I see waving. I like Campy myself. So if you have Campy, the way that you would do it in a Campy gear, 3, 2, 1. Shift to your easiest gear. Take a drink. We're going to do 1 minute easy. So Campy, for those of you that don't know it, has 2 little triggers at your thumbs. So to do this exact same thing on a Campy bike or Campy gearing, you would push your left hand down and literally push your right hand down 3 gears. So just go, and you're going to be right in the same exact gear. So it's a beautiful thing on Campy. You can make it happen instantaneous. So why would we use this? Where would we use this? So how many times, especially those of you that have a compact crank, have you come up to a road and all of a sudden it's a climb and you're in your big ring? Well, obviously you don't want to climb it in your big ring. And the last thing you want to do is all of a sudden you shift to your small ring and you're sitting in your 25. More than likely you're going to drop your chain. And then when you get to the bottom of that climb, your legs are going to be spinning like a mouse in a wheel. You're not going to be going anywhere. So this is where this works. If you're in your big ring, if you shift 3 harder gears, then shift to your small ring, then start that climb. It gives you some resistance on your feet. It gives you somewhere to go when you start the climb. And it allows you to then get stronger as you do that climb. So let's do this again. Everybody back up to your big ring. We were in our 25. Let's shift down 1 harder gear to our 23, or 2 if you have a 28. Get that cadence again. Back up to 80 to 90. 90 being the top. Pay attention to your metrics, either heart rate, speed, power. Use the cadence to help you feel this gear. Now this one, unfortunately, depending on what gear you have in the front, if you have a 50 here, our gear inch is 58.7. We're going to shift down to our 16, and the gear inch for that is 57.4. So it's not going to feel perfectly the same, but it will be close. So that's why when we do that shift, you might need to go 1 easier or 1 harder to feel the same effort that you're feeling right now. So let's hold this for 1 more minute. 80 to 90. Your heart rates are probably, if you're using that, bottom of zone 3, maybe in the middle, depending on where your fitness is. It shouldn't be super hard right now, especially since you just did 12 20-second efforts in a similar gear. And then remember, you're always shifting in the back first before you shift to that small ring in the front. So go ahead and give yourself 3, maybe 4 shifts, and small ring in the front. 3, 2, make that shift. Bring it right back to that same effort level. For me, I made 3 shifts. I was right where I needed to be. This is so cool. I love being able to do this on the road. It feels so awesome to be spinning your legs and you make that shift from big ring to small ring and you feel like nothing's changed. The other reason to have this as an option is because we're constantly anticipating on the bike what's coming up next for us. Is it a climb? Is it a descent? Is somebody going faster? Are we slowing it down a little bit? So you always want to anticipate what's coming your way and prepare for it. Another good example of when you could use this. If you know in the distance, you're coming up to a stop sign, or more like a stop light, you may want to make that shift from the big ring to the small ring. So when you start, you're literally starting in the same gear, but in your small ring. 3, 2, 1, nice and easy. Shifting up to that easy gear. 1 minute easy, take a drink. All right, we're going to do one more of these efforts. So you can keep seeing the differences in your output as you move down that cassette. So after 30 more seconds, we're going to go down 1 harder gear to your 21 in the back. And in your big ring for those first 2 minutes. For that gear, I'm going to widen the cadence range, 70 to 90. And then again, we're going to shift a few gears down and down to that small ring. So go ahead, big ring, 2, maybe 3 shifts in the back, 2 minutes, 3, 2, 1, 70 to 90. If you're using a power meter, you should notice a change in your power. For those of you with heart rate data, you should notice a change in that heart rate for this one. A little harder gear. If you get that cadence closer to 90, a little harder effort. And again, feel this gear. So when we make this gear change, it's going to be a little off again. Just because it's not a perfect gear inch. And when we make that shift, just like the last 2, figure out if you need 3 shifts, 2 shifts. Shouldn't need more than 3. If you go 4, it's probably going to get a little too hard. So the other purpose for this, as I said before, is stoplight, stop sign. And of course, that situation is one that you can anticipate. You see it in the distance. You make that choice when you're 100 meters away or more if you feel like you need to. All right, in 10 seconds, you're going to shift to 3 or 4 harder gears, maybe 2. 3, 2, 1, then down to your small ring. Dial it right back in. I made it 3 shifts for it to feel right. Hopefully this is making sense. I can't wait for you guys to get out and be able to use it. Then you start to perfect it. Once you perfected it, you'll start using it more. One more minute here. Now with this one, you may be getting up into the top of zone 3, bottom of zone 4, depending on where you're putting your cadence. But that's okay. Remember what I've said about zone 3. It's a good solid place to be. You build a lot of base there. We don't always have to work with our tongues hanging on the ground. We need to train the heart to work in those lower zones to build a stronger foundation. 10 more seconds. Don't let the effort drop. 3, 2, 1. Nice easy gear. 1 minute easy. Take a drink. All right. We have one last set to do. So this last one is going to kind of be your practice set. I'm going to give you a situation, a scenario. We're going to be rolling along, sitting in a gear, and all of a sudden I'm going to say, there's a climb coming our way in 50 meters. What are you going to do? Shift to your smaller ring. Make that gear exactly the same. So use the situation to make it happen. So we're going to start off in our big ring. And you're going to shift 4 gears from where you are right now. All right. We're going to sit here. Let's have our cadence somewhere between 65 and 75. Now, this is a gear, obviously, if you're doing a long ride. Sitting in this gear at this cadence is not advisable. Why? You're putting too much pressure on the legs. You're forcing the legs to be like 100-pound weights, and they're working really hard to stay in the game here. So this is a gear, obviously, if you came to a stoplight, you probably wouldn't want to start in this gear. So a stoplight's coming our way. Let's shift down 2 harder gears to your small ring. Should feel about the same. So right now, you're about small ring 15. Let it stay there. Focus on that cadence. Now you might be able to bring your cadence up, maybe to 80. In 15 seconds, you're going to take your right hand. For those of you that can swipe 3 gears, you're going to swipe it when I give you the countdown. 3, 2, 1, 3. Easier gears. Pick that cadence up. You're probably around your 21 right now, where you should be able to get that cadence up to about 100. Enjoy this. This feels good. Feels a lot better than that first gear we were in. When I count it down, I want you to go to your big ring, staying in the same gear in the back. 3, 2, 1. Big ring. Settle in. Your cadence might slow a little. That's okay. If you can hold between 70 and 80, that's what we're looking for. Because we're going to come up to a climb on this next one. So think about what you will do. I'm going to give you a warning when we see that climb, 50 meters in the distance. So we're coming up to that climb. So what are you going to do to get ready now for what's to come? I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to make the changes and see if you made the same. Let you roll a little bit. We're 25 meters to that climb. We're hitting the base of that climb. So your tendency is to want to shift, right? Because you're climbing. Keep it in this gear till your legs start to slow. One easier gear, everybody. Starting to go a little higher. One more easier gear. One more easier gear. Now, your cadence should be probably around 100 right now. It's a nice easy gear. Spinning the legs. So you got into the top. Now what happens? To your big ring. Shift down about 3 gears. Allow yourself to work down the back side of this. Unfortunately, This gear isn't going to feel so easy, but that's okay. Shift up 2 easier gears to make it feel like you're spinning your legs. See if you can get your cadence closer to 90 to 100. Coming down the backside. Going fast. Holding on to this. I know you're saying, wow, this is a long effort. But this is what reality feels like when you're out on the road. We've hit the bottom. So give yourself even 1 easier gear if you have it left. So your big ring, probably your 25 at this point. So you say to yourself, I want to get out of my big ring, and I just want to spin at this same level, but be in my small ring. You're going to shift 2 or 3 easier gears down to that small ring, right back to that cadence you were currently holding. It's all starting to make sense now, right? It's cool how you can manipulate the gears to help you in the situations. Keep that cadence right between 90 and 100. If you're sweating through this, that's good. That means you're sitting in zone 3. So we're coming to a descent. So I want you to shift right back up to that big ring. Give yourself 2 easier gears if you have them. Spin those legs. 1 more minute to this effort. Coming back down backside of that hill. When we reach the bottom, we're going to go a little bit. And then guess what? Another climb comes our way. So you've gotten to the bottom. What are you going to do? You see that climb coming your way. Shifting down. 2 easier gears. Down to that small ring. Down to that small ring. And find that similar effort level. And I just dropped my chain. I think my chain is too long. Keep spinning. Keep that legs moving. We got 1 more minute. We're climbing. Climbing up. Wow. Where is this thing? What is going on here? Man, I'm not doing the 1 finger thing here on this one. Just keep those legs spinning. There we go. Finally got me in. You're almost there. Rising. Rising to the top. So what's going to happen when you get to the top of that climb? Going to keep the legs moving. Oh, now I just got it out of the chain again. Wow. 3, 2, 1. Shift to an easy gear. Nice easy gear for everybody. Technical difficulties for the coach. There we go. I don't know what was going on with that. Was trying to shift all over the crazy. Might be time for some new cables. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, so you should be in your small ring, which I'm trying to get to. Small ring, Easiest gear right now. All right, we're going to cool it down. So, hopefully, that little exercise has given you insight into how shifting from the big ring to the small ring can help you in situations that come your way, especially climbing up a hill. Too many people approach a hill either in their big ring and then they drop their chain, or they approach it in their big ring and they go to the small ring and then they go to that easiest gear and they're spinning their legs like crazy, not going anywhere. So you want to make sure that when you get to the bottom of that climb, you have some gears to go to. You want some bailout gears. You don't want to be all the way at the top of your cassette. All right, so hopefully you've finished your bottle. If not, put down the last couple of sips. We're going to spin these legs to cool down. And then if anybody has any questions about this, as always, I will open up the phone lines and let you ask away. So a little different workout tonight. I promise you Thursday will be a different one in terms of the effort levels. But I think even by being in those couple of ranges that were zone 3, I like working there. I like for you to see that, see how that works. All right, spinning it out. I'm going to do 1 more minute for myself. And then as always, you guys can stay on your bikes if you want, or you can, if the body's starting to cool down, sweating process is stopping or slowing, heart rate should be down to zone 2 by now. It's a good way to go. All right, nice job tonight, everybody. I'm out of here. Save this. All right. I am opening up the phone lines. Oh, now he's got some Cheetos.